can you see the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. So let's start. So today's course is on clauses. What do we mean by a clause?
Can I say, ma'am?
Yes, please.
So I think a clause is a group of words joined together to form a sentence.
Yes.
It contains a subject and basically a verb or predicate.
Oh, predicate. Good. So this is the answer. It's a group of words containing a subject and a predicate. It seems like a sentence, but normally it's less than a sentence because clauses may constitute a sentence. Okay. So here, what is important? So as I said here, a clause is a group of words containing a subject and a predicate. And of course, what is important to know is that there are two types of clauses. Clauses that we call independent, or the main clause, that is, they can stand on their own, and clauses that are dependent and they cannot stand on their own. Okay, so these dependent clauses are referred to as subordinate. Okay, they are normally these dependent clauses are less important than the main clause. If I take the two examples in here, okay. By the way, you have the same file in ENT. You can download it if you like. So, and also in the e-learning platform of the faculty. So they are there, you can download them. So as I said here, if we take the examples, he won't come to the party because he is sick. The man who is standing there is my father. That the earth is round is a fact. So here, here you can notice that we have sentences, and these sentences are constructed, okay, or they consist of two essential clauses, okay, one that is more important than the other. Okay, so here he won't come to the party because he is sick. If we divide this sentence into two parts, that is into two propositions, that is two parts that have certain meaning. So in here we can say he won't come to the party. This is the first part, and then he is sick. Okay. So, what's the main idea in here? What's the most important idea is that he won't come to the party. And then we have the other part, which is because he is sick. So, because he is sick in here, it justifies, it gives this clause in here, justifies, gives the reason why he won't come to the party. So, here, one sentence consists of two clauses. The main clause, which is he won't come to the party, or the independent clause, that is, I can say he won't come to the party and stop, because there is a full idea in here, complete idea, no problem. It can stand on its own. That's why we refer to he won't come to the party as an independent clause, or the matrix clause, or the main clause. It's more important in meaning than the subordinate or the dependent. Then we have because he is sick in here, it's another clause. This is why we say that a clause is a group of words containing a subject and a predicate. Okay, not like a phrase, not containing a subject or a predicate. No, because it's smaller than the clause, and the clause is smaller than the sentence. So because he is ill in here, he is an independent, is a dependent, sorry, is a dependent clause. Why? It cannot stand on its own. I cannot say because he is sick and I stop. Okay? Because especially when we use because in here. So here we have two clauses that are joined by a subordinating conjunction, which is because. So because he is sick is then a dependent clause, or we call it subordinate clause, that cannot stand on its own. Just the reason. Okay, so here we call it subordinate clause, and it is introduced by a subordinating conjunction. And of course, in English, we have different types of conjunctions, and we have also the subordinating conjunctions. Okay, just to make the difference between this sentence, for example, and other sentences. When I say I was driving my car and listening to music, so here we have two clauses in here. I was driving my car and listening to music. So two clauses that are coordinated by and. Okay, so here we cannot talk about dependent clause. Okay, there is no dependent clause. Why? Because the two clauses are coordinated by and, like the two clauses are equal. Okay, I can say I was driving my car and stop. It's independent. I can say I was listening to music and I stop. Okay, so that is when coordinated by coordinating conjunctions. So we have only two matrix clauses, not like this sentence, he won't come to the party because he is sick. Here we have one clause is more important than the other, and the other one, which is the subordinate, is dependent on the first one because it should be linked to it to show, for example, the reason. The same case, so when we talk about clauses in general, we're not talking just about subordinate clauses, that is clauses that are introduced by subordinating conjunctions. Clauses may be introduced by other elements like relative pronouns, okay? So that depends. So, and each clause has a particular name. Okay, so here the second one, the man who is standing there is my father. So you see in here, I can say the man is my father. Okay, I can say the man is my father. But in here, when I add who is standing there, here it's a clause. But this clause is dependent clause. It's a dependent. I cannot say who is standing there and stop. That is, it cannot stand on its own. So it's attached or it is connected with the main clause. The man is my father. But this kind of clause is not introduced by a subordinating conjunction like because. Okay, it's coordinated by who, the man who is standing there. So it's coordinated by who. What is who? Who in here refers back to the man, which means the referent is the man. Okay, so who here is a pronoun. Why? Because it refers back to the man. And who in here has a role. Okay, it plays the role of a pronoun, and it plays another role, that of relating the man to the other part or to the rest of the sentence. Okay, so it is called then who is a relative pronoun. Okay, it's a relative pronoun. So clauses in general may be either introduced by subordinating conjunctions or as here relative pronouns. Okay, so in order to relate the two, to relate them within one sentence. Is this clear? So remember, clauses in general consist of a group of words not containing a subject and a predicate, and there are two types of clauses. We have the main clause and the subordinate or the dependent clause. And subordinate clause may be introduced by subordinating conjunction or any other conjunction. Okay. So and then we have in here that the earth is round is a fact. You see in here that the earth is a clause. Okay, and look at in here, notice the sentence in here functions, or this clause in here functions like a noun. Okay, it's it functions as like a noun. It functions as a subject of the verb is. That the earth is round is a fact. So it's like this. It's the subject of the verb. Okay, so this is, since it is the subject of the verb, then it acts like a noun. So we can refer to this, that the earth is round, we can refer to it as a noun clause. Okay, noun clause. Okay, so just taking these examples, we can say that he won't come to the party because he is sick. Because he is sick is a subordinate clause that is introduced by a subordinating conjunction. And of course, what does it show? It shows in here the reason, the cause, okay, of his absence in the party. So the cause. So it shows, it modifies the verb. Okay, like this, because he is sick, it gives explanation of why, which means that it modifies the verb. Since it modifies the verb, then this clause is acting like an adverb. Okay, it's acting like a modifier. And remember, modifiers in English may be either adverbs or adjectives. Okay, so an adverb, as I said before, may modify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. The same case for clauses. Clauses may be, in terms of function, they may be considered as just one unit. They may function as modifiers, or they may function as just nouns. Okay, occupying different positions, like the noun. So because he is sick in here, so here it is a subordinate clause. And which type of clause? Okay, so because clauses are of, that is, we can say that there are adverb clauses, we have adjective clauses, we have noun clauses, and we have the elliptical clause. So these are the clauses that we shall focus on. So in the first example here, because he is sick, so which type of clause do we have? Of course, we call it the adverb clause. Why? Because it modifies the verb. It shows why he is absent for the party. Okay. Second one, which doesn't include subordinating conjunction, but it includes a relative pronoun, who is standing there. So since he here we have who is standing there, modifies the man. Modifies the man. The man is a noun. Since it modifies a noun, then we call it the adjective clause. So the first example is an example of an adverb clause, and the second example of who is standing there is an example of an adjective clause, and then the third one, since it acts like a subject, then it acts like a noun. So we refer to that, the earth is round, we refer to it as a noun clause. Okay, so these are the main clauses that we'll focus on: the adverb clause, the adjective clause, the noun clause, and then the elliptical clause. Just to summarize, the elliptical clause is an incomplete clause. It is incomplete. That is, you find the missing word, okay, within the clause, as we shall see in a while. Okay, so this is it. Then this is what I have explained, that the independent clause in general may function like a noun. And this is the case of that the earth is round is a fact. It may also function as an adjective, like the man who is standing there is my father. Who is standing there is an adjective clause. Okay? In terms of function, it is considered as a one unit. So who is standing there is an adjective clause modifying the man, the noun man. Or the independent clause may be an adverb, depending on the sentence. An adverb when I say maybe another verb, I'm talking about not the category of the clause, that is whether it is dependent. No, I'm talking about the function of the clause within the sentence. Okay? Sorry. So I said that when I talk about the fact that an independent clause may function as a noun or an adverb or an adjective, I'm talking about the function within the sentence. Okay, and the function is related to the position of these elements or the clause within the sentence. Okay, so what we need to know from this course is that whenever, for example, you have sentences and you are to identify, okay, you are to detect and identify where is the adverb clause, for example, or where is the noun clause, or where is the adjective clause. Okay, so like the category of the clauses. Okay, category of the clause. So what type is that clause? So you may say, okay, it's an adverb clause. Automatically, what's the function of an adverb clause? So the function is that it plays the role of an adverb, and it may modify a verb or an adjective or another adverb. Okay, so as I said, the independent clause may function like a noun or an adjective, and here it's an adjective clause, or another verb, depending on the sentence. So the independent, sorry, and the dependent clause, not the independent. Independent is the matrix. Okay, the dependent clause, which means the subordinate clause, may function like a noun or an adjective or an adverb, depending on the sentence. So the dependent clause or subordinate clause expresses an idea that is less important or subordinate than the idea in the main clause. This is what I have explained. That is, whenever we have a sentence and we have two clauses, and there is a conjunction that is related to the two clauses. So in here, automatically we have a main clause, okay, that is more important, and we have the dependent clause or subordinate that is less important in terms of ideas or information than the main clause. So the relationship between the two ideas, that is the relationship between the two clauses, is shown through the conjunction or the relative pronoun used in the sentence. As we have seen, so in the examples before, that the clauses may be related, okay, may be related by conjunction, and this conjunction may be a subordinating conjunction, or it may be, or we may have a certain relative pronouns which relate. Why do we call it a relative pronoun? Because it relative because it relates to clauses, and pronoun because it replaces an antecedent before that is called okay, the modified word or the referent. Like when we have here the man who is standing there, who replaces the man, then it is a pronoun, and who relates the two clauses, then it is a relative. That's why we call it relative pronoun. Okay, so let's go ahead now and try to discuss the examples of each type of clause. And in here let's start with the adjective clause. So remember, when I say the adjective clause, I'm talking about a dependent clause. Okay, I'm talking about a dependent clause that is subordinate to the main clause. But the difference is that the adjective clause, in terms of function, it functions like an adjective. There is no other function. It functions like it functions. I'm talking about the function. It is a dependent clause, but functioning as an adjective. That's why we call it an adjective clause. Okay, and remember, two things are very important concerning the adjective clause. Is that okay? It is there, okay, to function as an adjective modifying a noun, because adjectives modify nouns. Okay, and these nouns are referred to as antecedents or referent or modified words. Okay, the modified word of an adjective clause is a noun or a pronoun. Okay, let's take these examples. Okay, let's take these examples in here. Who can read the example in here and tell me where is the adjective clause? And of course, the adjective clause is an adjective. Yes, who can read?
Teacher, I can read.
Yes, please introduce. Yes, can you introduce?
It's Zainab al-Wabani. So
Yes.
this is the house where she used to live. Where is the adjective clause?
Yes, not where. Not where.
Where she used to live.
Yes, good. So you should precise the limits of the adjective clause. This is the house where she used to live. Where she used to live is an adjective clause. Okay, so type, under type, you would write adjective clause. Under the function, what would you write? Sir?
You are now unmuted.
Yes.
House. Yes. Modifying noun house.
Yes, good. Yes, good. So since it modifies a noun, which is house, then it is an adjective. So under the column related to the function, you write adjective. So type adjective clause. Okay? Function adjective. What is the modified word? Or what is the referent? What is the antecedent? Okay, that it refers back to. This is the house where?
The house, the house.
The house.
The house.
Good. So under the referent or the modified word, you have to write the house. Because in the exam, you have to identify. You have maybe a passage or sentences, okay? And you may have certain, that is in here, you have to identify, for example, an adjective clause, identify this. So while identifying, you write the type. Is it an adjective clause or an adverb or a noun? Based, of course, on the sentence. If it is an adjective clause, so you write adjective clause under the type. Then, under the function, you may write that it is adjective. It functions like an adjective. And then, under the modified word or the referent, you should write the house. Is it clear? So
you are now unmuted.
And where here is a relative pronoun because it refers back to the house. Okay? Relative pronoun. Remember, adjective clauses are introduced by relative pronouns, okay, which relate the two clauses and which replaces or refers back to an antecedent that is a noun or a pronoun. Good. Next sentence.
You are now unmuted.
Yes.
Can I? Yes, please. My name is Noury Sadaq. So the second one is they haven't read the book which they bought yesterday.
Yes.
So the clothes which they bought yesterday. Functioning as an adjective and modify the book.
And the modified word
book
or the reference to the book.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Anyone to do the other one?
Can I go for it, Professor?
Yes. Name?
Nada Kharbush. So this is the man who was looking for you. Who was looking for you is an adjective clause, functioning as an adjective, modifying the noun, the man.
Good. So this is it. So it's introduced, as I said, by a relative pronoun, which is who. Okay, next sentence. Who can do it?
Can I do
Professor?
it? Can I do it?
Yes, sir. Your name?
My name is Moulay Ismail Bouyakoui.
Yes. Okay. Yes, go for it, please.
I don't see the woman who was with me yesterday. Who was with me yesterday is an adjective clause modifying the woman.
Yes, sir. Good. So it's an adjective clause. You write it under the type, and then under the function you write adjective, and under the modified word or reference you write the book. Good. Okay, thank you. Who's next, please?
Professor, can I go
Yeah.
first?
Yes, please.
Show me the book that you have read. That you have read is the adjective clause functioning as an adjective, and it modifies the noun, the book, yes.
Yes, good. Thank you. Your name?
Salma Hamdouni.
Yes, Hamdouni. Okay, thank you. Next one, please. Is anyone?
Can I, teacher?
Yes, your name, please. Yes, go for it.
Abdeltaif Khallabi.
Yes,
This
please.
is the restaurant where we ate lunch. The adjective clause is where we ate lunch.
Yes, please.
The function is as an adjective
Yes.
who modify the restaurant, modify noun.
Yes, good. Yes, thank you, Khallabi. Thank you. Next, the last one. Yes, the last sentence in here.
Can I try this one?
Yes, of course. Your name, please.
This is Sufyan Radwan. This is the woman whose skirt was dirty yesterday. Dependent clause is whose skirt was dirty yesterday, and it functions as an adjective clause describing the noun woman.
Okay, yes, good. Yes. Thank you. So this is it. So to summarize the adjective clause, remember, it's a dependent clause that is introduced by a relative pronoun. Okay, and it functions like an adjective. That's why we call it an adjective clause. Don't write, for example, under the type an adjective clause and then under the function in the exam, under the function you write adverb. That's impossible, because an adjective clause is always functioning as an adjective. That is, just close your eyes and write an adjective under the function. Okay? And of course, how do you know the adjective clause? You know it by the introductory conjunction, which is a relative pronoun. How do you know the relative pronoun? You know it by the reference, because the relative pronoun replaces a noun or another pronoun, and the relative pronoun is very important, okay, because it is related to a reference. How do you know the relative pronoun? You know it because it joins the two clauses. And how do you know the adjective clause? You know it because there is a reference before, a reference or a modified word, and that modified word is a noun or a pronoun. Okay, please don't make that mistake, that of writing under the type of clause adjective clause, and under the function you write adverb. This is contradictory. Okay, this is a contradiction. So an adjective clause is an adjective. Okay. So now let's move to the noun clause. So noun clause, as I said, a noun clause functions like a noun. This is why we call it a noun clause. And since it functions like a noun, I'm just summarizing for you, okay, and then we'll do the sentences together. As I said, since it functions like a noun, automatically it can be positioned or it can be put or inserted in any place or position where the noun can be used. Okay, and as you know, nouns and pronouns may function as a subject of the sentence, like when I say Mary. Okay, Mary eats an apple, so it may function as an object he hits the ball. It may function as a subject complement. Okay, this is Mary. They may function as an object complement. Okay, it may function as object of preposition, object of participle. So you see that a noun or a pronoun have, okay, different functions within a sentence. Okay, different functions within a sentence. The same case for the clause, because we consider the noun clause as just one unit having a particular function. It may occupy different positions, okay, depending on the sentence, and you have to read the sentence and see which type of function does it play. So a noun clause may also be a subject, may also be an object of a verb, may also be a subject complement, may also be object complement, may also be objects of preposition, etc. This is what we shall see in these examples. So here, for example, the noun clause, he said that he was coming. So you see, we have here a clause. He said that he was coming. We have a clause in here, and this clause in here contains, of course, consists of subjects and a predicate or a verb. Okay? Then it is a clause. Whenever you have a subject and a predicate, it is a clause. If it doesn't contain that, it's a phrase. Okay? And remember, a clause is less than a sentence. He said that he was coming. So in here, if I omit that he was coming and I say he said what? He said that he was coming. Okay? So here you find that he was coming in here is a noun clause functioning as an object of the verb said. When we talk about a noun clause, we're not talking about modification. Why? Because only adverbs and adjectives in English modify words that are considered as modifiers. While when we talk about the function of noun, we're talking about this function based on the position within a sentence. Okay, which means a noun may take different positions, and accordingly, it makes it may take the different functions, but not a modifier. Okay, we can a noun may modify another noun. That is when it acts like an adjective. Okay, in some words. Okay, we may have that case, but in here, the noun clause, he said that he was coming. Okay, here that he was coming is a noun clause function as the object of the verb. Okay? Same case. Who can read now? Who can read who can read these sentences? We'll try to do that like an exercise, and at the same time you're explaining different types of clauses and their functions. Yes, this sentence, who can do it?
Can I read it?
Mm-hmm.
My name is Muqawim Ismail.
Yes.
I don't know what he intends to do. What he intended to do is a noun clause modifying noun clause function as an object.
Yes, good. Okay, thank you. So when I say here, what he intends to do is a noun clause functioning as a direct object of the verb don't know. I can't say that it is a modifier because it doesn't modify that verb. Okay, it's just the object of the verb. So in the exam, if you have, as I said, and I'll give you the sample. If you have for example, the columns, or the columns, for example, and you should write under the column of type, you can write noun clause. Okay, noun clause, and then under the function, you write object of the verb. And under the referent or modified word, in this case in here, you write the verb don't know. Okay? And the referent, that is, there is a referent. A referent may mean something that is related to. Okay, so in here you can write just the verb don't know. What about the next sentence? Yes, please.
Can I do it?
Yes, please.
What he said was not understood. What he said is the noun clause and its function as a subject of the verb was.
Yes, good. Okay, thank you. Your name?
خولة زناوي.
Yes, Janawi. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Next example.
Teacher,
Can I go,
for it?
Professor?
Yes.
Teacher, can I read?
Yes. Yes, please. Your name?
ندى خربوش.
Mm-hmm.
So, where he spent the night was unbelievable. Where he spent the night is the noun clause. It's a noun clause function as a subject of the verb was.
Okay, so in the exam you can write where he spent the night, then type is noun clause, function is subject, and under the other column you can write the verb was. Okay, remember this is the way you should do it. Okay, next one. You can do it. Yes. He said that he would travel the following week. So here, where is the noun clause? That he
will travel the following week.
Yes, that he would travel the following week. So he said what? So here it's a noun clause.
Yeah.
Noun clause,
Function as
an object,
of the verb said.
Okay, thank you. Deactivate your microphone. Thank you. We don't know where he lives. The same case here. Where he lives is a noun clause functioning as a direct object of don't know. Next, let's see other positions, other functions of the noun clause. And remember that the function of a noun clause is like a noun, okay? Is like a noun. So here he will give whoever she wants a prize. So here, let's analyze this sentence. Okay. He will give whoever she wants, okay, whoever wins a prize. So sorry. In here, whoever wins. So whoever wins. Okay, so he will give whoever wins a prize. So if I say here, he will give what? He will give what? A prize. To whom? To whoever wins. How many objects do we have? Because as we know,
Objects, direct and indirect.
Yes, good. So we have two objects. One that is indirect, which is whoever wins, and a prize, which is a direct object. As you know, the verb here, give, is a ditransitive verb because it takes two objects, one that is indirect and one that is direct. So where is in here the noun clause?
However wins a prize.
Yes.
Whoever wins a prize.
No. Just whoever wins.
Yes.
Yes. Because a prize here is a noun phrase functioning as a direct object. He will give what a prize. So a prize is a direct object that has nothing to do with the noun clause. But whoever wins is a noun clause functioning as an indirect object that is occurring in here with a ditransitive verb taking two objects, one that is indirect, whoever wins, and a direct object, which is a prize, which is a noun phrase. Okay? Let's see in here. So in here, the function in here of a function of a noun clause in here is what it is. It's the function. It's functions like indirect. Okay, indirect objects. Okay. Indirect objects. Okay, so indirect objects. Here, let us see the other example. Let her name him whatever she wants. What is the noun clause here? Let her name him.
Teacher, whatever she wants.
Whatever she wants.
Yes. So here, this is the noun clause. What's the function of the noun clause here?
Indirect object.
What?
Teacher, object complement.
Good. So in this case, here it is an object complement. Right? Object complement. Why? Because we have in here the verb which is name. The verb name is like the verb name is like the verb consider. Okay, like the verb consider. The verb name is a complex transitive verb, so automatically it takes a direct object, name whom. Okay, him here is name him, so him is a direct object, but name him what? So name him whatever she wants, which means in here that the noun clause is functioning as an object complement, like giving you more information about him. I can say, let her name him John. Okay, John here is a noun object complement, like completing or giving you more information about him. So whatever you want, she wants in here is an object complement. Is it clear? So here, let's see in here the noun clause and which type of function. Don't worry about what I had told him. What is the noun clause?
What I have told him.
Teacher, what I told him.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, good. So the noun clause here is what I told him. So what's the function of this noun clause in here?
It's object of proposition.
Good. So it's an object in here. It's an object of preposition. Good. Okay. So we see that the noun clause may function or may have the same function like a noun in terms of position. Okay. Let's now move to the other sentence.
Teacher,
One. Yes,
I'm
please.
sorry to interrupt you. So
Yes.
where is the preposition here? Don't worry about what I told him.
So here we have about. We have worry about. About is the precision.
Yes. Thank you.
Don't mention it. So about what? So don't worry about what? Don't worry about what I had told him. Okay, so this is an object of a preposition. Good. Then if we move to the other example, one fact that he is intelligent cannot be denied. Okay? So what is in here, this sentence? One fact that he is intelligent. Okay? He cannot be denied.
That he is intelligent.
Yes. So what's the function of here?
As an object complement. So, en fact, what? That he is intelligent.
But what is the object complement? You know what does it mean, the object complement? It's in like in here, let her name him whatever she wants. So here it's an object complement. But in here, the first thing I can say one fact cannot be denied. Okay? I can say it. One fact cannot be denied. What's the in here? What do we have?
Professor,
Yes, sir?
I forgot how do we call it, but can I say it?
Subject complement.
Yes, you
No,
can. Yes, you
it's
can.
like جملة اعتراضية.
Yes, sir. What do we call it?
I forgot.
Positive, appositive phrase.
Positive, yes.
Good. So this is an appositive. Okay. So this is the appositive in here. But what is it? Since it contains a subject and a predicate, then it is a clause. Okay, then it is a clause. So one fact that it is intelligent, which means in here this clause, okay, which is an appositive, it refers back to one fact in here. It refers back to one fact.
Teacher, it's a subject complement.
Subjects complement? No, subjects complements they follow a linking verb, okay, like seem, like is, etc. Okay, the subject complements, you find them with intensive verbs. Intensive verbs take a subject complement. So what can we consider this one? If you omit one fact and you say that he is intelligent cannot be denied, so
It's a subject.
Subject.
yes. Okay, so in here we can consider it as a subject. But since we have one fact, there are some grammarians, okay, or some teachers, some grammarians that say who say that we can consider it as an adjective modifying one fact. Okay, it's an appositive indeed, but it is related to one fact, and one fact, a fact is a noun, then it is an adjective in this case. You see, so for me in here, I can consider it as a subject of the verb cannot. Okay, because it is we can omit one fact. Okay, and we can say that it cannot be denied. And also in here it is just an appositive. An appositive is an element or a part of a sentence that adds information about the subject. Okay, so here take it as a subject of cannot. Okay, one fact that he is intelligent cannot be denied. Okay, even if others say that it is an adjective, logically speaking, that seems yes. Okay, because a noun may act as a modifier in certain cases. That is, it may act as an adjective modifying another noun. Okay, so that's logical if you argue for this. Okay, but also if you see the position, one fact that is intelligent, I can say also that it is a subject. Okay. Yes. So remembering what I had told him, he went out. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, who can read this sentence, please?
Hello, Professor.
Yes,
I did.
yes, please.
Remembering what I had told him, he went out.
Mm-hmm.
So the noun clause is what I had told him.
Yes, what's the function? What's the function?
It's functioning as remembering what I told him.
It functions as a direct object.
Of what? As an object of what?
You can I say you remember what I had told you.
Okay, if I let's take remembering what I had told him. He went out. Who was remembering what I had told him? Okay, he. So remembering what I had told him. Look at in here. What do we have? Remembering what I had told him. It's normally it's a what is it? It's a phrase. If I take remembering what I had told him, it's a phrase. Okay, it is a phrase. And which type of phrase in here? It is
Gerund phrase.
no, it's not a gerund phrase.
Participle.
Participle
Yes,
phrase.
good. It's a participle phrase because it is related, it modifies, and participle phrase acts as an adjective modifying he. So remembering what I had told him, he went out. Who was remembering? He. So remembering what I had told him is a participle phrase, adjective modifying he. But within this participle phrase, I have a clause. Okay, the clause is what I had told him. What I had told him is a noun clause, object of the participle remembering. Okay, so you see that it functions like a noun. Okay,
Yes.
then another example, he told her to read what she had written. He told her to read what she had written. So what
What
is
she
the
had written.
yes,
She's
good.
good.
So what she
I
had
think
written, yes, sir?
I think she's functioning as a indirect object or a
What
direct.
direct object? Listen, direct and indirect objects are found in sentences. Okay, in sentences consisting of having a ditransitive verb. Here we have just an infinitive. He told her to read. Here we have an infinitive. But he told her to read what? To read what she had written. So what she had written in here is a noun. Yes, is an object of the infinitive. To read what? To read what she had written. So it's the object of the infinitive in here. So you see the different positions of different positions of like the noun clause. Okay, so a noun clause in here maybe subject, object, indirect object, direct object, object complement, subject, etc. Objects of prepositions, of participle, of infinitive. So it has different cases, and also it may be in some cases like referring back to a noun, like in here one fact that he is intelligent in here. So here it may be taken as a modifier modifying one fact, and as an appositive you can say appositive modifying one fact. So that's correct. If you say it is a subject, okay, it may be considered also as correct. Okay, so this sentence in here is debatable, okay, depending on the argument that you may give. Okay, so this is it. So we have seen up to now the adjective clause, the noun clause, then the adverb clause. Automatically, when I say an adverb clause, it functions like an adverb. Automatically, it should modify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. So the adverb clause is a subordinate clause. We call it a subordinate clause because it is introduced by a subordinating conjunction. Okay, it is introduced by a subordinating conjunction. Okay, so the adverb clause, as I said, acts like an adverb. It may modify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb, telling where, when, how, to what extent, that is adverb of degree, or under what conditions. So let's read these examples in here. And of course, whenever I talk about the adverb clause, of course, it's an adverb in terms of function. And you should always try to see what's the modified word of this adverb. Okay? So who can read the first sentence, please? Yes, sir?
Can I go for it, Professor?
Yes, please, sir.
She behaves as though she were in Europe. Verb clause here is as though she were in Europe. It's an adverb clause functioning as an adverb of manner.
Good. Okay, modify.
Modifying the verb behaves.
Yes, good. So modifying the verb behave. Good. So here, as though she were in Europe is an adverb clause, and it is introduced by as though, which is a subordinating conjunction. Okay, subordinating conjunction, adverb of manner. Okay, it plays the role in here. The adverb clause plays the role of an adverb of manner. Okay, so here it modifies the verb behave. Next sentence.
Professor,
Yes, sir.
he will come back home as soon as he finishes his work. As soon as he finishes his work is the adverb clause, functioning as an adverb of time, modifying the verb come back.
Yes, good. So this is it. As soon as he finishes his work is an adverb clause, okay, adverb clause of time, okay, adverb of time, modifying the verb back, come back, okay, and then this adverb clause, as soon as he finishes his work, may also be referred to as a time clause. When we talk about time clauses, we're talking about clauses containing the time conjunctions like as soon as, until, while. All these are time clauses. That is, we can use the term that is in here, time clause, as a substitute, okay, for the adverb clause. But here, in general structure speaking, is an adverb clause, but which type in here, it's an adverb of time and also referred to in some books as time clause. Okay. Next, who can do the other one? Yes.
Can I do this one, Professor?
Yes, of
Can I do
course.
this one?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so he is confident that he will pass the exam. So the adverb clause in here is that he will pass the exam. It functions as an adverb and it modifies the adjective confident.
Yes, good. Yes, very good. So this is it. Here we have a case of the adverb clause functioning as an adverb, okay, modifying another an adjective, okay, which is confident. He is confident about what? Confident that he will pass the exam. So it's more related to the adjective in here, which means that in here it is an adverb clause functioning as adverb, okay. In the example is, even if you identify the type of the clause and you write, for example, adverb clause, okay, and the function you write adverb. If you know which type of adverb, okay, that's okay, you can write it. If you're hesitant, that is, you hesitate, don't write the type, okay. But when the type of the adverb is clear, okay, just write it, okay, that will be a plus. So this is it here. Then he will pass the exam is an adverb clause modifying the adjective confident. That is, you can write confident and then the modified word. Okay, next.
Teacher, can I read?
Yes, of course.
She writes better than I do. The adverb clause is better than I do, modifying the verb write.
So what is the adverb clause, as you said?
The adverb clause is better than I do, modifying the verb write.
Why are you including better?
Can I try this one?
Yes, sir.
So she writes better than I do. So in here, adverb clause is basically than I do, and basically it describes another adverb which is better.
Yes, good. Okay, because here we have sort of comparison in here. It's a comparative sentence. When I have than I do in here, we have an adverb clause functioning as an adverb, modifying another adverb which is better in here. Okay, so in here we have comparative clause. Comparative clause. Normally, this doing here is just replacing writes, like she writes better than I write. This is it. But in here, do is just replacing write. But then I do in here is a comparative clause. Okay, comparing. Okay, comparing two persons. Okay. Okay, so this is so. Then I do in here, as he said, he is an adverb clause of comparison, and it modifies another adverb which is better. Okay, so remember, whenever we talk about the adverb clause, we're talking about the modification of a verb or of an adjective or of another adverb. Okay. That is, we consider clauses as one unit. So just related to the adverb clause, I'd like to talk about the conjunction. Okay, adverb clauses are coordinated to the rest of the sentence through subordinating conjunctions, because the subordinating conjunction shows the relationship between the clause and the rest of the sentence. Okay, it shows the relationship between the clause and the rest of the sentence. So among the major subordinating conjunctions, we have, for example, after. Okay, after we will find it in adverb clauses that we refer to as time clauses, like after, like before, like until, like as soon as. So the short time, which means that the adverb clause is an adverb of time. We also refer to it as time clause. Just remember, because you may find it in other books as a time clause. You will say, okay, it's a time clause. Why do we call it adverb clause? Why? Simply because it's an adverb clause functioning as an adverb of time. Okay, that's why we also refer to it in some books as a time clause. So although in here, although it's contrast, okay, as though we have comparison, as time, as if comparison, because we have cause in here or reason, adverb or a clause of reason, or we can say adverb clause functioning as an adverb of reason or cause. So we have other subordinating conjunctions like before, in order that purpose. So as long as time, since it may be a reason. Okay, since I was ill, I didn't go to school. So here, since it's a reason, okay, or it can be an indicator of time, like when I say since I was a child. Okay, so in here we have another verb clause showing time. So that purpose, then comparison, until, time, when, time, while, time. Okay, so these are the major subordinating conjunctions, and you can see the other subordinating conjunctions so that you can be able, okay, to identify to identify the clauses in a passage or in a sentence, etc. Here, the last one is the elliptical clause. Okay, the elliptical clause may be an adjective or it may be an adverb, that depends on. But in here, the elliptical clause, why do we call it elliptical? Simply because it is incomplete. You find one element or one part of the clause which is missing. Whenever it is missing, then in here you are dealing with the elliptical clause. So elliptical clause may be an adverb clause, but from which there is a certain element that was omitted and that is missing. Okay, so here let's take just two sentences. It's easy, the elliptical. She is more intelligent than her son. So here, where is the clause that we can talk about? She is more intelligent than her son. So don't you feel in here that the sentence is not complete or it's incomplete, but still the meaning is well understood? Okay. So what is in here? So we have than her son. Here is an adverb clause. Okay, it's an adverb clause of comparison and it modifies the adjective intelligent. But this adverb clause, okay, it is elliptical. Why? Because there is one part in the end in here that is missing. That's why we call it, that is incomplete. That's why we call it elliptical. So normally the sentence is she is more intelligent than her son is. So here the predicate is or the verb is missing, but it doesn't change the meaning of the sentence. It doesn't influence the meaning of the sentence in here. So I would say she's more intelligent than her son is. So since is missing, and here we have an adverb clause modifying intelligent. So here we can say that this adverb clause is elliptical. Okay, so we can, in the example, you can write than her son, and you write it's elliptical clause, and between brackets, which type of elliptical clause? It's an adverb clause. Why? Because it modifies the adjective intelligent. Okay. So here we have another. Yeah, while waiting for the bus, I saw you driving to work. Okay. So according to you in here, where is the elliptical clause? Yes.
I think the elliptical clause is while waiting for the bus.
Yes, good. So here we have your name, please.
Sufyan Ramadan.
Yes, good. So as I said, while waiting for the bus in here is the elliptical clause. Which type of why do we call it elliptical clause? Because it is incomplete, but it's still meaningful, because there are some elements of the sentence that were or that are missing. So while waiting for the bus, normally the sentence or the clause is while I was waiting for the bus. Okay, this is the sentence. While I was waiting for the bus, I saw you driving too. So I was in here, that is the subject, and the verb are missing, but still the sentence is correct. So I can call it in here that it is elliptical clause. But which type of elliptical clause? It is an adverb clause, elliptical, because it's an adverb clause functioning as adverb of time, modifying the verb, okay, while I was waiting for the bus, the verb so. Okay, so in here it's an adverb clause, so you would write it's elliptical clause between brackets, adverb clause modifying, of course, the verb so, and it's an adverb of time. Is this clear?
Yes, Professor.
Yes, ma'am, it is clear.
Okay, thank you. So if you want, so we have, do you have any question? So if you want, we have 10 minutes, 10 minutes left. We'll keep 10 minutes. As I said, we'll do in these 10 minutes, we can just practice few sentences that I have in here as an exercise. This is orally, and then of course you'll have the same exercise to do, okay, and send to me, to be sent to me. So we see in here the exercise. Okay. Okay. So this is the exercise. Okay. So this is just one exercise. Okay. So here, I will give you the floor to discuss these examples, okay? And at least we'll do 2 or just 4 examples, and we'll stop, okay? And we'll stop. Then, yes, and then you can do the others and send them to me, and we shall correct all on Saturday, inshallah. So here, okay, who can read the first sentence? So here, this is a negative.
Can I?
Yes, sorry to interrupt you. So in here, I have an exercise on clauses. What's the aim? The aim is to identify the clause. Okay? Then state the function of that clause. Then state the modified words, word or words, or what we call the antecedent or referent. Okay? So who can do the first sentence, please?
Can I do it, Professor?
Yes. Always try to introduce your names.
My name is Munir Al-Malki.
Yes, Malki.
So, if you wish to be a successful person, keep your eyes open to the world around you. The clause is if you wish to be a successful person. It is an adverbial clause.
Yes, sir.
It modifies the verb keep.
Yes, good. And which type of clause in here? Adverb, as you said. Adverb
Yes.
of what? What does it show, this adverb?
Of manner.
Not manner, when we have if in subordinating conjunction.
Of reason.
No, no,
Or
not
condition.
Condition, yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't advise you to do that in the exam because it would be too late.
No, I will just state it's an adverb.
Yes. So here it's an adverb clause, okay, functioning as an adverb of condition, modifying the verb keep. Okay, and it's this kind of adverb clauses are referred to as clauses or clause of condition. Adverb clause functioning as adverb of condition are also referred to as clause of condition. Okay, condition clause. Okay, next, who can do the second one?
Can I try it?
Yes, of course.
Since it's your own word, you are free to regard it in any way you wish. I think it's since it is your own word, which is an adverbial clause, and it's functioning as an adverb of reason.
Yes, good. Modifying. Since it's your own world, you are free to regard it any way you wish. Yes.
It's you are free to be free.
Yes, you are. That is, it
Yeah.
modifies the verb. Okay, good. Yes. can do the
Teacher,
third.
can I read?
Yes, please, your name.
Because they have traveled, Umayma Lashab. Because they have traveled a lot, they have much to say about different countries. Because they have traveled a lot is adverbial clause modifying the verb have.
Yes, good. Adverb of reason. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, good. So let's do the last one, and then I will leave for you the other sentences to do. Okay, before Saturday, inshallah. Okay. Yes, the last one. Yes. Okay, we can do the last one. Is it difficult for you? If not, I would do it in here. What do we have? We have the soup was delicious, but the cake tasted very bad. So do we have here any subordinate clause or any dependent clause in here? Of course, no. We have here two. Okay, the soup was delicious.
There are two
And the
independent
second
clauses.
clause
There
is
are two.
yes, good. The cake could taste is very bad. It's an independent also clause. It's an independent clause, and we have cases here of two independent clauses that are coordinated by a coordinating conjunction. Remember, in English we have coordinating conjunctions which are but, or, and. Okay, and we have subordinating conjunctions which coordinate the main clause to a subordinate clause or to a dependent clause. Okay, I think we can just stop in here. Yes, and now, as I said, just to recapitulate on clauses. A clause is a group of words containing a subject and a predicate. It may be considered as just one part of speech or one unit in terms of function. So we have the adverb clause is a clause that modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. A noun clause is a clause that plays the role of a noun, which means it may be a subject, maybe an object, subject, complement, etc., as we saw before. Then we have the adjective clause. Adjective clause functions as an adjective modifying a noun or a pronoun, and an adjective clause is always introduced by a relative pronoun that relates the main to the dependent clause, okay, and of course the reference is a noun or a pronoun. Okay, we call it relative pronoun because it relates to clauses, and it's a pronoun because it has a noun or another pronoun as an antecedent. That is, it replaces a noun or a pronoun. Okay, concerning the elliptical clause, it may be an adverb clause. In the case where we call it elliptical because it's incomplete, or one part of this clause is missing, that's why we say elliptical. So we should always specify elliptical clause, and then you specify which type of clause it is. Okay. Yes, please. Do you have any question? Okay, so this is for it. This is all for today. I think that next Saturday, inshallah, or next session, we'll try to do the exercises on phrases and clauses and discuss things deeply, because it is through practice that you may understand better. Okay.